Raise the Roof Production.
Well, you'll never know the heartache of looking a grown man in the eye, and he asks, am I gonna make it? And you gotta lie. Well, they call me doc, but I ain't got no degree. When shit hits the fan, they're calling for me. From bluegrass Kentucky, with red blood on my hands, nobody calls me hero except for my friends. Yeah, they call me Doc.
Hello, brothers and sisters and American patriots. Welcome to another amazing episode of Sick Call with Doc. I'm your host, Rod Doc Walbeck, United States Navy Hospital Corpsman. As always, your co-host, Joe Misfit Glenn, Combat Army Medic. In the back on the dials, as always, Devil Dog, Brian Roof. Before we get started today, I'd like to just throw out a little bit of stats to you. You know, hope it's not too boring to you, but just some cool stuff too. We have about 66,000 World War II veterans still left with us as of 2024. 66,000 of them still alive. And for Korean veterans, we have over 1 million Korean War veterans still left as of 2020. But they're saying that by 2030, 5 years from now, we're looking at a couple 100,000 out of over 1 million. And in Vietnam veterans, we have 6.3 million Vietnam era veterans. I also wanted to point out that there's an actual day just for those Vietnam vets. The Vietnam War Veterans Recognition Act of 2017 designates March 29th as National Vietnam War Veterans Day. Didn't even know that till today.
I didn't know that.
I didn't.
Yeah, March 29th is your day.
March 20th.
Yeah, I also want to say this, though. We talked about the Iraq War, Afghanistan War veterans suicide of around 54,000. That's the government numbers. So you know that's not true. It's well more than that. But I found something today that I thought was pretty interesting. Since 79 to 2019, so 6 years ago, 94,497 Vietnam War suicides. They say that's no percentage-wise ratio, that's no different than the civilian population. But you're also talking about a lower number of people in the pot, you know, so think about that. We lost 58,000 or so on the wall. We've lost double that to suicide. Iraq and Afghanistan, we lost 7,500 or so. We've lost a minimum of 54,000 of our veterans, brothers and sisters, to suicide. The ratio is nuts. It's just incredible. On a better note, we have a Vietnam era veteran with us today. We're going to peel back an onion today, and I hope you all are ready. So get your popcorn and your sodas out, and get your pop out, and get ready to go. Because we want to welcome Army Specialist, Vietnam War era veteran, Sylvester Vanderbutts, brother. Welcome to the freaking show, bro.
God bless you guys. Thank you.
Welcome home. And we thank you for your service, bro.
Thank you guys for your service. Yeah, we're all military.
Glad to have you today, brother. You've got such a story. You're going to resonate with veterans like everything out of your mouth. You don't maybe not believe it yet, but I already know. So we've seen it live and in person, huh, Joe?
Yes, sir. Sure have.
Absolutely.
Beautiful thing, man. Really is.
So with that, you like Psy, you like Bud. What
Bud.
You like Bud the best? All right. Well, that's
Bud.
kind of funny. We're a cannabis kind of show.
But,
That works perfect.
you know, we're all military guys, so yeah, I'm Minister Cy Vanderbutts. That's part of my ministry. Is part of my name. It's short for Sylvester. Cy Sylvester.
Right on.
Bud's been my nickname since, you know, my dad's nickname was Bud. I was named after my dad, so he was Bud and I was Buddy, and then I became Bud after a while. And then when I started my ministry, I thought, Minister Bud Vanderbutts or Minister Cy Vanderbutts, and I liked the Cy better, so I kind of went with that. But as far as my friends, my close buds, and my best friends, I'm Bud. So
Well, let's go with that, Bud. And there's a lot to talk about today.
yeah.
You can start wherever you wish. Tell us how. Tell us how you come to join the military. What was it like in life before you joined those high school years or your life, and so that we have something to relate to as we hear the rest of your story.
Well, like I was telling you guys before, you know, pretty much my whole story started when I was 11 years old. It was about my brother Johnny getting killed in Vietnam. There's where my whole world changed as a little kid. Because my brother John, to me, and my little brother Kevin, he was our guardian. He'd always been our guardian from when we were little boys. He's always protecting us from anything. So that's who we were learning from to be little guys and growing up, because our dad was never there. So we kind of attached to Johnny because nobody messed with John. He was the bad boy. You know, he was like, he hung out with the Hells Angels out there. You know, he was best friends with Sonny Barger, the president of the Hells Angels of the Los Angeles chapter. They all came to the funeral. It was amazing to see all the Harleys that showed up at my brother's funeral. It was like, whoa, I've never seen anything like that before. But yeah, like I was telling you, when they lowered that casket down into that grave, my whole world just,
And being 11 years old, that's a very formative time in your mind, you know.
yeah, oh my God, yeah. It was a terrible thing for my family and all of us. And guess what? Nobody recovered. Not my whole family. No, and nobody really recovered from it. It was like, it was insane.
So what possessed you then to join as soon as you were old enough?
Well, my brother Rick went in the military, and we'll see. When Johnny died, President Johnson told my mom, I was there when he told her, he said, none of your sons will ever, your other sons will die in Vietnam. And he kept his promise. And I couldn't go to Vietnam. They would not send me there, even though it was still going on when I went in 74. They ended it in 75. You know, like I said, the draft ended it in 73. And I was 16 when that did, but I couldn't go in then. But when I turned 17, my dad and mom signed for me. And I was in 11th grade, and I jumped out of 11th grade and went right in the military. And they forced me to graduate in the military, which was, God, I'm so thankful for them for the thing.
Yeah.
Command Sergeant Major Aponte in Stuttgart, Germany, or actually Ludwigsburg, Kornvestheim, 2nd to 4th Infantry Battalion, Command Sergeant Major. I love that guy. He was gung ho military, and he told me I was almost 18. He said, "You're going to finish high school." And I said, well, yeah. What? And he goes, "Yep, I'm sending you to school, and you're going to finish." And
Nice.
my God, he came to my graduation. So did my commander of my base. They came and watched me graduate. It was like, whoa, you came for me? That was like, dude, you know, like, great. That was one of the things in my brain right now going, somebody did something for me, you know, wow. And I'm just a kid, and they forced me to do it, but they were proud of me for finishing and doing it up. So I'm happy for that. That was a good thing. So yeah, being in the military was a great thing for me. I learned how to become a man, because I'm with all these guys. But yeah, I had bad influences in there as well, because I hung out with all the black people. I was my roommate was black, and his name was Slick. And I just hung out with them because nobody, pardon my expression, fucked with them. You know, it's like, you're going to get your fucking ass creamed, you know? So I hung out with all them guys, but they were all into drugs and shit. So I kind of got into that. You know, you follow your peers, they're teaching you how to, here, try this, do this. You know, we all probably did it once in a while. So yeah, I been into the drug thing. I did all that, but it never caught me. It never, you know, like most people go, oh, I was hooked on it, or hooked on heroin. I was hooked on this, or hooked on it. No, it never hooked me. You know, it's like nothing ever did. Alcohol don't hook me. Nothing does. So it's like, I do love cannabis, and cannabis is shit. It's my friend. You know, it's
Yeah,
like,
I just wanted to make a disclaimer. There's as many white drug dealers and addicts as there is black, so
oh yeah, no,
it wasn't a black thing.
I look at it this way. The Lord made me experience so many different things. It's crazy. I know about the drug scene, so I can really communicate with people that are hooked on drugs, because I was there. I know. So you're talking to a minister that God has put me through so many circles and saved my life in so many ways. I've been there. I've done that. So now I talk to you about it. And if you're there, I can keep you from going to the next level. Maybe I can stop you from killing yourself. Like our young soldiers today. If I could convince one of you boys out there, and I don't know if anybody's watching or listening out there, dude, we love you. We don't want you to go anywhere. You need help. We got it, man. We got it right here. That's what we're assimilating here. And we want to make sure that you all guys are safe. We definitely need you to be with us. And I'm just joining the group now. They just found me. I just found them, and I'm so blessed by it. But most definitely, we all need to kind of like come together, all of us.
Absolutely.
Don't kill yourself. Don't shoot yourself. Don't drink yourself to death. Don't hurt nobody. Call one of us, and be. God will help you. I will help you, because I'm a person of God, and that's what my job is, to assist you not to do something. But if you communicate with me, I can help you.
Right.
I guarantee I can. I guarantee it 150,000%. Talk to me. I'll convince you.
You know, I wanted to go back just a little bit. You were talking about, well, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but they wouldn't allow you to go into Vietnam because you were a surviving son.
Right.
And they still do that. They did that in my time. We had a soldier that he was the last surviving son, and they would not allow him to go.
Yeah, allow him to go.
That happens still.
In any combat, if you're a surviving son, or you've lost one of your children, but not bad guys go, oh, well, I noticed that a pair of twins got killed in two different places, but they were still in the same theater.
Yeah.
You know, okay, that kind of sometimes happen, but that don't happen all the time.
No.
I mean, one of them, matter of fact, somebody should have caught that. Somebody should have caught that and made sure that one of them was not into that theater.
Right.
Maybe he could serve in a different part, but he couldn't serve into that combat because his brother was there.
Right.
Yeah, don't quote me, but I think that started actually in the Navy. There was and please, the numbers, forgive me if I'm wrong, but it was like this lady had 6 boys, and she lost a couple on foot in the Army. She lost one in the Air Force, pilot or something like that, or whatever. But then she lost 2 brothers on the same sub.
You know, we had a movie here not too long ago with thing on there. You know what it was called? Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, that's kind of the
there you go. There's all killed here and here, and there's one survivor up here, and we got to get him. We got to find him because he's the last remaining soul of that family. You have to return him back. It's just like me. I'm the last of my family. After I'm gone, it's over. There is my grandson, that's it. But
It's nice to know they think enough of us that they won't let all her 6 kids die at once.
yeah, oh God.
Right.
Yeah,
That was
so I mean that's a cool thing.
yeah, that's a
So
that's just something that's maybe God wanted all them at the same time.
so what did you do in the army?
Um, I was a truck driver actually, and that wasn't, it was on purpose, but it wasn't where I wanted to be. When I was at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, I was the adjutant's driver, limousine driver. He's the colonel adjutant that actually took care of all the housing areas for all the sergeants and colonels and lieutenants and everybody. They had to live on post. So he was in charge of all the neighborhoods. So we had to drive around all the neighborhoods and take a look at the lawns and make sure the lawn care was taken care of. And, if he seen something that he didn't like, he have it fixed or whatever. So I came down on a levy to go overseas, and it was Germany. And my adjutant just so happened to be an infantry commander. So he decided where I was going. So he said, I know right where I'm going to send you. 2nd of the 4th Infantry Battalion in Stuttgart, Germany. You're going to guard Persian missiles. So that's what I did. I loved it because I was the mess hall driver. So anytime we went to the field and everything, I was with the mess hall. So I got to eat all the good food. I never, believe me, when you work for the mess hall and you drive all the mess hall equipment and everything. So that's what I did in the military. I wanted to be a truck driver because I wanted to learn how to drive them big semi trucks when I got older. So I thought about it when I was 16, and when I turned 21, guess what I did? I became a truck driver, and I was an over-road truck driver for 24 years. So that's what I did after I got out of the military, is learned how to drive semi trucks, and over the road I went. But I lost a wife and daughter and everything from that. And then when the cancer hit, in 2005, I started smoking weed again, and my daughter won't have nothing to do with me because I was grown, and I got arrested, and it turned out to be a really bad thing. And
Well,
my grand, go ahead.
I'm sorry, brother. Let's talk about when you got out then. So when you got out, you went immediately to doing truck driving.
Well,
What was it like being a Vietnam veteran getting out?
oh God, no, you didn't want to tell anybody you didn't even want to tell anybody you were in the military at that time, because you were a baby killer. You were just not a good person. So
And we're talking 77, right? 1977 or so?
Yep, 77. That's when I
Yeah.
I was 77. But I did get some welcome homes when I flew in before I mustered out at Fort Dix, New Jersey. When I flew into Chicago, I did get some people that said, welcome home, soldier, because I was in uniform and I was in my khakis. So, not really my dress uniform, but my khakis. And
Your working uniform, yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like your uniform. That's kind of like not really your
Right.
not your work uniform, but in between. So
Right.
yeah, khakis when I come back, and they all knew, military guy, here he comes. I was happy to be home. I thanked him. Thank you for thanking me to come home. I'm glad to be home. And that was it. That was at O'Hare Airport. And after that is oh snap, no, they didn't like us, not at all. And I wasn't even in Vietnam. I was just in that era. That's all you had to be. You just had to tell them you're a soldier, and it's like you get the middle finger.
Guilty by association.
Yeah, you baby killer, you this, oh no. No, thank you. I don't even want to tell you I was a member. Now I can, because they kind of like us now. Whoa. That's like a zillion. I don't understand it. why they would flip flop on us, but thank
Did
God.
you?
Yeah, now they love us, and now they're giving us all kinds of shit. It's like, but it's not enough. Sorry. Thank you for your gifts. I appreciate it, but it's not enough. It's like, and we're not greedy. We're not greedy guys. We just I need my medication. And I know a lot of young people out there that are smoking cannabis, maybe doing some microdosing, which really helps. Oh my God, does that help? If I could get a young veteran to try some microdosing, I think I'm not gay, but I think he would fall in love with me. You know,
We want freedom of choice.
Yeah,
We want freedom of choice for our meds.
he would love
Don't tell me what to take. I want the freedom to do my own research and figure out what works best for me, whether it's pharmaceuticals or not. Right? We fought for their freedom. They need to give us our freedom to grow a few plants, grow our own medicine, do our own fungus, and leave us alone.
Well, the pharmaceutical companies do not want you to do that. They don't.
Of course they don't.
Microdosing on that. They don't want you doing any kind of mushrooms or in any kind of weed. Because why? Because that's helping all these guys, and they don't want to help. They want to get them on these psycho drug shit, and now it's infecting their livers. It's doing terrible damage, and we need to get away from big pharma. Oh yeah, I think our Mr. Kennedy over there, Robert Kennedy's getting rid of that big pharma shit, and not they're into everything, even our stuff. So it's kind of like going, we just need to stick together as veterans and kind of come together. I don't know how, kumbaya, whatever.
The proof's in the pudding. There's no way, unless it's our own fault for not telling them more often by marching and wearing thongs on TikTok and burning cars in LA. Unless you do that, you don't get seen.
Yep.
Maybe we need to be better at getting seen by the politicians, but it's apparent to me that if between the Vietnam vets and the Afghan war and Iraqi vets, we lost 7,500 and 58,000. You're looking at what, 60 some in the wars. And we've lost 160, 170, 180 to suicide. My brain says to me that if they gave a fuck, something would have already been done by now. But apparently they don't.
How many guys did we lose to fentanyl?
Just the numbers are ridiculous. And they want to say it's no worse than the civilian world. And I think that's bullshit.
There in California, all them guys sleeping on go. How come we can't do something about this? Why can't we figure out a way to get all these guys off the street? I can, yeah. It's not that I don't care about the homeless, but I care about the vets that are down there that they're kind of lost in the group, and they're just feeding them drugs down there just to keep them there. Why? Because they make money off of them. What we need to do is gather them up, and we got to get a place for them, a place where they could go to recover and get purpose again. Because we all need purpose, and if we could snatch them, even just snatch them up off the curb, saying, "You're coming with us."
That's it.
And that's it. We're not giving you any chance to even argue about it. You're coming with us. It's like you're being military arrested. Us military guys are arresting you right now personally. We're taking you to where we're going to help you. And even if you say, I don't want no help, we don't care. We'll see what you're like out the other end. Oh, we're taking a break.
What you got?
I see.
Free fentanyl and a purge, huh? Wow.
Is that what that is about?
That's the remedy for homelessness, says this Lancaster mayor.
Fentanyl?
Wow.
Feed them.
Wow. Wow. Thanks, Brian. That's double dog in the back, throwing out some stats for us. Oh, okay.
That's where if we were all really honest with each other, even with my ministry. Maybe that's what I want to do with my ministry is I don't know how I'm in Michigan, but to get to California, to get them men off the street, let's find a place for them. All these freaking ass Chinese people own all this property over there in Oklahoma, all over. How come we don't just take a piece of that back and say, we're going to take this back for our veterans and we're going to put up a nice big old barracks all the way around this thing like we do back in basic training, and we're bringing them all here. And we've got doctors here, we got medics, we've got everybody we need in place right here to make this man live again. Be a soldier. He might want to come out. He might just flip flop right there when he's seen everybody going, I'm back home. I'm home. It's like I died and I come back home. Here I am. I'm back a soldier again. That would flip. You know, there you go. They're coming back to their environment. That's what we need to do. So
I wish go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
I said, yeah, that's what we need to do. I'm kind of excited about this. Holy crap.
I tell you, I wish the VA, I know they allow, like the post office, you know, if you're a vet, you want to work at apply for a VA job or government thing,
Right.
you know, you kind of get a little up to the head of the pile. I know that happens, you know, but
Yes.
if the VAs were filled with Army medics and Navy corpsmen, Navy doctors, Navy, Army, Coast Guard, Air Force, if those hospitals were filled with all of us and we worked like we did when we were in, our veterans would get the greatest care ever in the world by us.
Oh, yeah. Well, they need to do that with our clinics, our small clinics, even though I got a great nurse practitioner. You know, her name is Ann Cuthbert. She's not quite a doctor yet, but she's really good. But she's one of these people that don't communicate with you. She sits there and everything you say, she types down in her paperwork. You know, she's don't sit there and say, okay, soldier, what ails you, and gets to that point. And there's kind of like, we need to fix that. I mean, I love Ann and everything, but we need to get military doctors in these clinics, not just some nurse out of. I feel like a freaking guinea pig sometimes. You know, it's like they get misdiagnosed shit and stuff, and you know, it's kind of like going, okay, but I'm going to go along with it because they take good care of me right now. So
what does that say, guys? What is that? I can't read it. My screen's too small right now.
Talking about stats, man.
What was that?
What does it say? Approximately 11% of veterans who visit a medical facility run by the Department of Veteran Affairs for the first time have a substance use disorder. Binge drinking, veterans may abuse substances in response to mental health disorders, and more than 1 in 10 veterans have been diagnosed with substance use disorders, slightly higher than the general population. 2022, around 18% of veterans in the U.S. reported using marijuana in the past year, followed by 2.3% using coke.
Okay, well, I get the marijuana part because I'm one of them that do. I report everything to my doctor.
20. It says only 28 to 30% of veterans with substance use disorder receive treatment in a given year. So we just walking around all kinds of fucked up. It's terrible.
Yeah, that's got to be fixed, and it can be fixed. You know, and guess who's got to fix this?
We do.
Right. Yes.
I mean, we see where it's going otherwise. Shit.
For us. Oh, they forgot about all of that. So, but we just don't have enough mouths to say anything because they've all been going, you don't like it here, go to another clinic, going, wait a minute, dudes, you all work for us. You forget that. I'm going to have your job here in about 10 minutes. You keep mouthing off to me because all I got to do is make a phone call and you're like, oh shit, looking for a new job. Why?
Yeah.
Because you work for the veterans here. And you got to respect us.
Yeah, it wasn't like this when I was in, but nowadays You can do 20 years, and I'll just use my Navy as an example. You can do 20 years in the Navy, and you can get hurt and stuff while you're in and still make it to 20 and get your retirement. And before you leave the Navy in the Fleet Reserve, you can get your 100% disability all set up and done and locked and loaded. Get out, get your Navy pension, your VA 100%, and go get a job. There's so many people on the books now with disabilities, and most 99.9 is due.
Well,
But the problem is, it's cost the government a lot of money. It's a lot more money than the war. You know what I mean? Like, over time, those numbers, the VA, all the money for the VA hospitals, the clinics, plus all the disability going out there, they would rather us not be here.
right. So
We're costing way too much money.
fentanyl, like the guy said, it's just the fentanyl pill away, just
They'd rather us not be
drop
here.
one in his soup or something and he's gone. You won't be crapping on the curb in the morning. It's like we just drag his body off and whatever. No, we got to stop this shit. Even me talking about it's just kind of making me ill. It's like,
They're decommissioning us.
Do I know?
Decommissioning us. That's what they're doing.
Decommissioning.
Prove me wrong.
Well,
Change my mind.
not in a good way though.
No, they're literally trying to get rid of us. We're of no use. We're a pain in the ass to them now.
It was just kind of like I was telling Doc about the boys coming home. When they come back, nobody was there to deprogram them. And they came back with that still in their brain. And it's like, I keep dreaming of this. I keep seeing it. And I can't get it to go away. Well, they never got to get to see somebody when they came back and deprogram them down. And that can be done.
Mm-hmm.
Done today. I'm not really sure.
It's not easy. It takes time, but
it takes a long time. You got to talk to somebody, and then you don't have dreams and nightmares as much anymore. And then they finally maybe go away, and you dream of better things. That's why I think on the psilocybin mushrooms in a micro dose helps these guys take that edge off, take that off of them, and it works. It definitely works. Why we're not promoting this in just like all God mighty way, I don't get it. Don't get it at all. So maybe that's kind of what we need to do, is all group together, and we're gonna start something. I know it now. I'm gonna make it my point to start something here, even though I make beautiful pipes. It started off making beautiful pipes. I make cannabis pipes for the festivals and stuff. I make good military ones too. So, but my ministry is going to be about vets, about maybe if we can get enough money, we can start pulling people out of California, get them out of there off the streets, give them a real life, especially these young ones. There's a lot of young guys out there that are, they're in their 30s and 40 years old, laying on the roads out there with big beards like Joe's got, because even though yours looks really cool and fashionable, theirs is because they're just down and out. I have a beard sometimes too. I just shave it because I like the goatee type of thing here. I like it better on me. If I grow a full beard like you guys, I don't know. I kind of look like Moses in a way.
When I first started the podcast, I had the Hulk Hogan like you do, bro. So let's do this. We're about halfway through.
Okay.
Let's cut the break. We're gonna do some commercials to help some other veterans.
Okay.
When we get back, though, I want to hear at least one funny, cool story about being a truck driver.
Oh,
and then since we're out of the story is now we're out of the service, we're in the truck driving. Let's talk about truck driving a little bit. Let's talk about the journey from truck driving to now, how cannabis has changed everything, and psilocybin has changed everything for you.
Okay.
And then what you see for the future, brother, for you, for your personal journey, bro.
Cool. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's take a break.
We'll do that. That sounds like a good story there. All
right, brother.
Yes.
Join us for Hero Stock, a special event dedicated to honoring our veterans and first responders. Experience a day filled with incredible live music performed by those who served and protected our communities. Connect with our nonprofits dedicated to helping our heroes thrive. Discover the services available to support our veterans and first responders in their journey. Bring the whole family. Kids will love the fun activities designed just for them. Reconnect with your community and celebrate the courage and sacrifice of our heroes at Hero Stock. Join us for a day of music, support, and togetherness. Check us out today on www.herostock.org.
Hey, welcome back to Sick Call with Doc. So let's do this. Let's talk about truck driving. Let's talk about the journey after. I mean, you're talking 77 to 2025, brother. That's a lot of years to get into about 15 minutes. So let's.
All right, here. When I got out of the military, I worked for a factory here in Dowagiac, Michigan, close to where I'm at. I was a copper extrusion company, and we made copper tubing for air conditioners, for carrier air conditioners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But my desire was to be the truck driver. So I went to truck driver school while I was working at that factory. I was working third shift there. Then I'd get off and then I'd go to school and learn how to drive a truck and back it and do the log books and all that shit. So I went and did that. So, but I was still 20 and you couldn't get a commercial driver's license till you're 21. So I kind of had to work under the table a little bit till I got to 21. Then I got my commercial driver's license, did all my testing and everything, got my license and everything. And then I went over the road, but it was kind of messed up in the beginning because I had to find my own loads and stuff. And I had a flatbed and I was working for an owner operator, and boy, they kind of screw you down the road on paying you. You know, it's one of them deals. But it was kind of, I never was a union driver. I should have done that. Like my brother did that. He joined the union, was an owner operator and retired with good pension and all that shit from the union, from the Teamsters. I didn't go that way. I went owner operator way because I figured that one day I'd be owner operator out on the road. And but I was in 1985, I was in a truck wreck in Ottawa Creek, Kansas. The driver of the truck, a friend of mine, we were on our way to Texas to pick up another truck to put on our lowboy that we had. And we had glass racks on the back of the truck.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he hauled, was stand-up sheets of glass. Well, anyway, we swapped. I drove all the way to Springfield, Missouri there, and we swapped out, and he took off, and we went through Kansas, through Ottawa, around Kansas City, Kansas. I crawled back in the bunk, and about 10 minutes later, he hit the bridge. He fell asleep behind the wheel. He slept all night long. I drove all night, so he had all night to sleep, but he fell asleep behind the wheel. We hit the bridge, went over the top of the bridge, 22 feet over the top. And if you could imagine, there was a creek or like a little river underneath of it with a tree sticking out. Well, we sheared the tree off at 19 feet in the air, laid over on the top and hit the bridge and buck, but the concrete slab that holds the bridge up, we slammed into that and punched a 3-foot hole into 4-foot concrete. It demolished the truck. Well, everything crushed up to me and stopped right at my face. The engine was here at my shoulder. It was like hot. I'm like in a coffin. I can't, the smell of diesel fuel, the heat. It was like 200 some degrees in there, and I'm like, oh my God, what happened? I don't know what happened. So everything just crushed around me. So I'm laying there, trying to get some sort of something to breathe, because I can't breathe. I figured I'm going to burn alive in here. I don't know what's going on. I smell diesel fuel everywhere. I started kicking because I knew there was a door in there somewhere, and I didn't know if it was at my head now or if it was at my feet. But I started kicking, and I felt a little breeze come across my leg, and I knew I hit the door. And it came across. Oh my God! It came right up my leg. right up past my groin, right up my chest. And when it got to my mouth, I just kind of sucked the air, trying to get that little bit of air that I felt come all the way up me. It was weird as shit. But anyway, I heard some voices. Like, I heard a guy go, "Wow, look at that." And I went, "Oh my God." I started kicking real loud. "Help, help, save me." And he goes, "Oh my God, there's somebody alive in there. Oh my God." And then I freaked out. I started kicking really hard. I had one foot tied up in a blanket and I only had one foot free. And that foot was just pounding the shit out of that door. I'm trying to get out and they come under there and they couldn't get it free. But one of the guys ran up the hill, flagged down a yellow freight truck driver. And I remember that guy. I don't know what his name was, and I love him for what he did, but he came down off that hill. And he grabbed a hold of that door. That fucking He-Man ripped that door right off the underneath there and slid me out by my feet. He grabbed a hold of my feet. I was a little less weight then, but I had to slim myself down just to get out the hole that he pulled me through out to. When I hit the air, I don't know. I've done drugs before, but I'll tell you what, when I took that first breath of air out there, my head started spinning so around and around and around. I thought I was going to pass out right the fuck there, man. But then I spun around, looked at the truck, and I heard my buddy Jim, the guy that was driving, I heard him die. I heard him gurgle his last breath because I yelled at him, Jim, and all I heard was a gurgle. And I knew right at that point that Jimmy's gone. And now I'm left right here, and that engine is right here. He's laying under the engine, and it's right here next to my face. It's like, man, I never felt a hot engine like that. That's 200 some degrees diesel, sitting right there next to your head, and you're only in a box about like a casket. That's about how size I was because everything crunched up to me and stopped.
Yeah, like a Navy bunk.
Yeah, it was like that, but so hot. I mean, it was so hot, and the smell of diesel fuel was like, choking me out. Oh, but I survived, man. The only thing I got was a blown out eardrum from my head hitting the wall when he hit the bridge. My head slapped the wall because I was in the bunk. So that's, thank God. Thank you, Lord. Because the cops even looked at me going, "Holy shit, dude. You shouldn't even be here. Somebody was watching out for you. How the hell did you survive that?" I go, like, even getting on the plane coming back from Kansas City to Chicago, when I got on that little plane coming across the Lake Michigan over to South Bend,
I know that. Yeah.
everybody looked like they were dead on board. They were all like white. I thought, this is it. I'm gonna die in this plane. He ain't done with me. I was so scared. Oh God, I was so scared to death. I was like, I'm gonna die. I know. I just did. It was supposed to be in the truck, but now he's gonna get me in this plane. I was like freaked out all the way across the lake, but we landed. I'm like, whoo. All the way the rest of that day was like, oh
yeah,
my.
No bridge. I don't want to hit another bridge.
Yeah.
No. Oh man, I was having a nightmare. I had to go back to driving again. And every time I tried to pull off the road and go to sleep, I dreamed like I was behind the wheel. And I wasn't. I was parked. I wasn't even moving. I was parked and I was dreaming. I was getting in a wreck. It's like, oh God, and it happened for, oh man, I swear like 6 months. I couldn't, it kind of scared the hell out of me in a way. But yeah, that was interesting there. I survived that one. But yeah, I'd seen some funny crap out on the road. So actually some stupid shit, mostly stupid stuff. But I've seen women do things to themselves on the road just to show the truck driver what you got there, girlfriend. I mean,
Yeah.
on the tools that they use while you're driving by, and they make sure they stay right there out your window so you can actually see every freaking thing that's going on. They know it. That's why they do it. It's like,
well,
damn, girlfriend, holy crap! I see this stuff going. Oh my God, this. Oh my! I didn't see that. I didn't just see that, man.
that leads me to something else. So that leads me to the next thing.
They know you're looking right down into their car. It's right there. Yeah, it's like, holy shit, you're all in and you're just doing all that stuff. Like, yeah, that's the funniest stuff I've seen out on the road. A lot of scary shit. Damn drunk drivers. Ooh, I've seen old people getting wrecked and being laying out in the medium strip with towels wrapped over their heads. And like, I've seen some. It's not a good life out there being a truck driver. No, you see too much things. It's kind of like combat in a way. You know, it's just not. Oh, thinking of combat, I was going around Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm the only freaking truck out there. I'm the only one driving, right? I'm on the freeway, 4 lanes. Here comes a Pontiac something off the ramp. Okay, I move over. I move over to the middle lane. He moves over next to me. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I move over to the left lane. I'm in the hammer lane now. I'm not even supposed to be in that lane as a truck. You're not supposed to be in the fourth lane. Not at all. The third lane even kind of like frown on that. But the fourth lane, this fool jumped out in front of me and slammed on his brakes. Like, oh, I'm running along at 65, 70 mile an hour, and I'm the only guy out there. Sorry about the cops going by, but I'm the only fool out there, and I'm like, this freaking ass just tried to commit suicide right in front of me. Right in front of me. It's like, holy crap. That kind of freak, that's still in my brain. See, it's kind of like people have done things, you know, it's like, I'm kind of glad I'm out of there, because I kind of like got to the point driving a truck that I was kind of like, I need to get out of this profession, because I'm like, I don't like this no more. I get to be a mean person and angry at a lot of people and things, you know, DO scales. I'd run them, you know, I didn't like that, none of that. So thank God I spent my time, and how I got out of that. I was driving for a company in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I had a girlfriend. Here we go with another freaking woman doing it. Here we go. Well, we were together for, I want to say 5, 6 years. I got her to get her commercial driver's license so we could team up and run to California and back together. Well, she did. We did that. Well, she lost that by deciding that she's going to be a drunk driver, lost her DOT certificate, lost her federal license, went to kind of like a woman's jail, like they call it KPEP or something like that, where you can't get out until you have a job and all that. So I quit my career as a truck driver and started my own business as I had a truck wash business, and I built a truck, put all equipment inside of it, and got it going on. And then I got her out of the jail because I gave her a job. She has a job now. So it's like, now I can get her out of there. That's what caused me to quit. And then I did that for 12 years. Actually, I detailed semi trucks for the dealerships in South Bend, Indiana for 11 years or so. And the bottom fell out of the industry, the trucking industry. And I kind of lost my business and everything. And so I kind of like, that, the cancer and everything hit, and then I went through all that, and I said, it's time for me to give up. And I was like 60 some years old then, and I kind of like, here I am now. I went on Social Security, like I told Doc, at 62, because I didn't think I was going to make it. I wonder how long I'm still going to make it. But I'm 20 years in, actually, the first of next month. 20 years in remission from stage 4 cancer.
Wow.
I've been dirt napping a long time ago, dudes. And here I am on a mission.
Well, that leads us to
a mission, a purpose for me to do something with the vets. And that enthuses me really big. I hope this is a turning point in my life, because I always wondered, where am I going to be? What am I going to do? And I have this ministry. What am I going to do with that?
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, because let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Okay.
And that is, I know you're a God-fearing man. I know you're a man of faith, and you got that tat on your head.
Everybody, can you see that?
Tell
Oh,
us when you became a serious man of faith and a minister.
oh, yeah.
Tell us about that and how that has helped shape your life. Then let's get into the cannabis.
Okay, I got to do it quick because there's a lot into it. 2003, I was introduced by when I was doing my detailing work on semi trucks. One of the head wigs of the Kenworth dealership says, "Hey man, you're a guy who loves God. Why don't you come to my church?" And I was like, "I'm not really into churches. I'm not. At that time it was like, yeah." But I told him, "But I am kind of like to see one." Or better, he said, "Come to my church, man. It's a rock and roll church. It's really cool." Rock and roll church. I've never been to one of those. I want to try it. Okay. So he invited me there. Oh my God. I walked in the door and something hit me so hard. It was like, oh my God, a chill went right from the top of my head, right down through my feet, right out through my toes. It was like, oh, what was that? And I had a picture of my brother John, his military picture in my hands. I took him with me. That was weird. Well, I was baptized in that church. I served that church. That was 2003. I was a greeter at the curb. Everybody loved me because I got to shake everybody's hand, and knowing that the person of God that I am, if I just shake your hand and a little bit of my faith can go into you, if I can touch you, maybe God will enter you through me, through my faith. And I thought, that's pretty cool. That's where I need to be. And that's where they put me. Uh, I went to India in 2006. In 2005, a tsunami hit the southern port of India and Sri Lanka, the island of Sri Lanka, and killed a lot of people. Well, I went over in 2006 with my church on a mission trip to help build huts on the southern coast down in a little town called Kanyakumari.
Wow.
Oh my God, oh my God, that was a God thing. All of that, I witnessed things that it was. We're going to get a thunderstorm here, but I witnessed things that only God could show me, and God put into my brain. It was like, oh dear. And when I came back from India after seeing all that, I had my beautiful home here. I had my beautiful cars. I had my business. I had all kinds of things. And I felt like, what a piece of shit you are. You see them people, they're walking around with babies in their hand and putting food for the baby. I'm like, oh my God, and I can't do anything. Oh, we don't see that around here. And I was seeing it just massive everywhere you turned. Somebody was going like this: money, give me food. It's like, oh my, what do you do? What do you do when you're put into that condition? You go like, if you give one person something, you're going to be surrounded by 100,000 more. They're all going to want something. You can't give anybody anything. You can only kind of like, they don't understand you. That's why they do this, because they know you don't speak their language. You're American. They're not from there.
Mm-hmm.
It was an experience. And they have oh my God. On Thursdays, they have this thing. They do prayer in the cemeteries. So all the women go into the cemetery, and the Catholic priest, he comes in there, and they have a ceremony for the dead. It is so beautiful. It's breathtaking. It's like, they cherish their dead. They build concrete slabs with incense and candles, and every Thursday everybody comes at one time. It's an everybody thing. It's not just, well, I'm going to go visit mom at the grave like we do. No, they have a ceremony for the dead, and it's so spiritual. I swore God was there. I swore it, man. I could feel the, oh, it's like nothing you've ever felt before. So yeah, I did that. But I got come back, and remember I told you about being kind of talked down. When you experience something like post-traumatic, that was post-traumatic stress disorder for me. And I didn't get talk to when I come back. And I lived that for about a year. And
Your
then,
PTSD is a compounding thing. You've had multiple things just
oh yeah,
bam, bam, bam.
oh, it's still piling. It's still piling now. Here you guys are. So you're part of this motion that I'm in right now. But in 2007, I'm still going to that church. I had, believe me or not, I had something similar to a stroke, but I didn't have a stroke. I thought it was a heat stroke or something, but it couldn't have been. I got home from work at noon, and at 2 o'clock, I had to get in the shower to go to serve at church as the curb grader. Well, when I jumped in the shower, I was home 2 hours sitting watching TV. Went in the shower, jumped in the shower, and something pinned me to the wall. Like a hand was pushing my back where my hands were against the wall, holding me up. Something's pushing me underneath the water. The water's hitting me in the top of my head, and I can't breathe. My mouth is open up, drool's coming down my face. My heart's beating fine. My brain's thinking, what the hell is going on right now? Why is my body being shoved against the wall and I can't move? And that lasted for about 15 seconds. And then it broke. And I'm like, what was that? I prayed because I was scared. I thought I was going to fall here any minute, and whatever attacked me was about to do something to me. I hear a voice, and I asked God, I said, what was that? And he said, I just killed Bud. You just killed Bud. And I'm hearing a voice saying, I just killed Bud. And I'm like, well, who am I? If you killed Bud, I'm Bud. Who am I? And he said, I am who I am. And that was it. I don't get it. Why do you say that? What was that about? Well, it didn't end there. Thought it was like really strange. That was like weird. Got out of the shower. Nothing's wrong. Everything's great. I'm like, nothing. Went
No
in.
droop face or nothing.
Nothing. I got dressed, went to church. my buddy and I, we talked about, we cried together on the way to church about what happened to me because it really stressed me out and scared the shit out of me. I don't know what it was, what. So now I went to the church, asked them, what do you think it was? And they prayed for me. And then the next day, that night I came home about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock from church. And about midnight, I'm in bed. I'm still thinking about all this stuff. And then I prayed again. Lord, what's going on? He said, I want you to get out of bed and read Psalms 32 in your Bible. Psalms 32. What's that got to do with it? Okay, I'll get up and read Psalms 32. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. It's not a one of the songs or orchestra or anything. It's telling me something. What? So I go back to church and say, okay, somebody's going to have to help me decipher this Psalms 32 here because this has happened to me. Oh, and the following morning I got up out of bed after all this, read your psalm and shit, and it happened to me. It shocked me again at my bathroom sink, and it only happened for like about 2 seconds. That same thing that happened to me in my shower happened to me at my bathroom sink for about 2 seconds. I don't know why. I'm like, now my brain is going, maybe that was a warning shot because it tells you in that Bible phrase, don't tell them. Don't tell them. What the hell did I do? I went to the church and told them. Well, guess what happened? They excommunicated me from the church. You're crazy. You heard what? And you're all talking about you're hearing the Holy Spirit's telling you to do something. I tell you what happened to me and you throw me out of the church. So therefore, I showed you yesterday, didn't I, Doc? all my memorials in my front yard and Jesus and all them statues I got?
No, we haven't. You haven't showed me that yet.
Oh, I thought I turned my camera around and showed you guys, you and your wife, when you were sitting there of my statuary. I don't have
Yes.
that on here, but anyway, I built
Well, when you mentioned my wife was with me, I remember that. Thank you.
a memorial here in my front yard for my church. This is my church now. This is where Jesus, my big statue of Jesus out there with a big cross. And I want to pray. I can go sit right out there with Jesus and look him right in the face. You know, I don't have to go to the church and pray because I have my own church. I have my own cathedral right here. So, and he listens to me. So, yeah, they threw me out to church, and I kind of never. Well, they didn't really throw me out. They told me I couldn't serve anymore at the curb, and eventually they let me back after about I guess about 3 or 4 months. They said you could serve, you can come back and be a curb grader again. I go, no, thank you. You didn't believe me in the first time. Why would I even want you to do you even the guy that actually baptized me is the one that kind of desecrated me. He is like, you didn't believe me, and you should have, because the Lord did enter my body at that time, and he did things that are so miraculous that
I I,
I
totally believe that church is in here.
yeah, right, yeah, it's
Whether it's spiritual, if it's the Almighty God, no matter what, who
you know,
spirituality comes from the inside. This
well,
is where your church should be.
I thank them for what they did. You know, it's kind of like going, you pushed me to another level, a level beyond what you can supply for me. You know, it's
Right.
I'm above this now. The Lord has exalted me to another level than what you can do, you know, with your music and your dance and your plays, whatever else you're going to spew out here. That's okay. I'm on a mission, and that's above all that. I mean, I'm grateful that you're pastors and whatever, and you go into church and you pray for all these people, and most of these people need repaired. That's why they come to church, as they're seeking the Lord. The ones that's he's already got me, so I don't really have to go seek him because he's already with me. He travels with me. He's here, there, every person I touch or commute with, like you guys. You know, it's like the Lord's always with me. What was that saying goes? If 3 Christians are in one place talking, God's there communicating with you. So yeah, it's factual.
Yeah.
So
So, you and I have talked probably a couple hours total on the
oh,
phone.
yeah, easy.
At least we did an hour here. And the truth is, we've only touched on
Oh,
like 5, 6 things of your life. You are a Vietnam era vet, bro. You're older than me and Joe and Brian. You're probably as old as Brian and Joe together.
yeah, but that don't make me any wiser just because
No, no. But my
I've
father.
experienced a little bit more than you gentlemen. Yeah, and that's a kind of a delight to me, going. Yeah, we were there and we did that and we were, I love it. I love being with you guys like this, man.
Well, thanks, brother, man. My
Yeah,
my father-in-law says that every man, and you can do this about women and mothers, and every man over his life builds a library, and when he dies, it's like a library burning to the ground.
oh, that is kind of factual in a way. Like I always go,
We all have different books. We all have different chapters.
it's like we skipped over a lot of stuff. I'm trying to make it like we can put this in a timing area.
So
Yeah, a lot of stuff we missed over. We missed a lot of shit. Some
let's
crazy stuff I
let's
did for the military and stuff, but I didn't want to
let,
tell that shit until we're private. But
so here you are, a God-fearing man, Vietnam veteran, air vet, and you're a cannabis psilocybin guy.
yes,
So
grower
so what?
and consumer. I grow too.
So okay, do you feel there's therapy in growing? And should
Oh,
veterans grow their own plants?
well, yeah. I had my own grow school. I taught people how to grow cannabis indoors.
Nice.
I had it for 3 years here down in southern Michigan, but I'm right on the Indiana border. And when they changed the law so everybody could have 12 plants in their backyard, nobody wanted to learn how to grow indoors anymore. It was not something they wanted to pay money to do. So it's kind of like I had to shut the school down, and I had to recreate myself and say, what do I want to do? And, you know, I smoke my cannabis in a wooden pipe. I love wooden pipes.
Oh yeah.
Well, I thought,
You
well, I love wooden pipes. Maybe other people would love wooden pipes. So I started making them. Then I started making them by the hundreds and then by the thousands. And like, oh crap, I got a lot of pipes. So I got to start selling some of these pipes. But I got a new laser engraver to engrave them personally for people. I like that part. But like I said, I want to get into the veterans part here. I think I feel my calling. I don't want to get away from making my pipes in the wintertime, but I feel my calling is coming to do something with the veterans here, something really big, something really, really, really big, something like.
I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you. You've done and seen so much over 70 years,
Almost 68,
almost.
68 years. Yeah,
Uh, and you survived fucking cancer
stage 4.
and women
Yeah.
and truck crashes and fucking who knows what else that we didn't get a chance to talk about.
Remember that the pig chased me when I was 4.
Yeah. He almost got ate by a pig once.
I almost got shot in the military on the firing range. Guy in the foxhole next to me committed suicide, stuck an M16 in his mouth, blew his brains out, and the bullets come boom, 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 right over it. My drill sergeant behind me jumped in on top of me, and he checked me. You okay? You okay? I don't know how either one of us didn't get hit by that. And then we got up, and I looked over, and I went, "Oh God!" He was just laying backwards on the foxhole. Oh, man, yeah, I've seen some shit, man. You guys, we skipped over a lot of stuff that I've seen or done in Germany, all over. Yeah, I've been.
So let me ask you. Apparently, God's going to keep you around here for years.
Yeah.
Apparently. So.
Am I going to die? And he says, "No, not yet. No." That's why I'll be here till I'm probably 90. I'm 68.
You've got a passion now. It's kind of been focused in. You're kind of funneling towards really doing something for veterans.
Yeah.
So what is your plan? What do you want to do? What is your hopes and your dreams to inspire you for the rest of your days? What do you want to leave behind as Bud Vanderbutts, bro?
What would get me is get Donald Trump to reschedule cannabis to a Schedule 3 instead of a Schedule 1 drug, and do something for the vets with this, with the psilocybin mushrooms, the micro dosing. Once we get them off the street, there's another one, passion. Get them there. We can microdose them, get their brain back to going and reprogram them. That's how we're going to do that. I mean, we can do it to every one of our vets, but we got to snatch them off the street. So, but we're going to have money to do that. I don't have money. I'm a poor man. I'm on Social Security like everybody else. I don't have a pot to piss in. So it's kind of like going, we will have to come together and figure out a way to get donations coming into the Garden of Divinity for veterans. And that's my logo is Garden of Divinity, and that's my email address is Garden of Divinity.
Garden of Divinity.
Of Divinity at Gmail.
Yep.
Yes, that's my ministry. So it's kind of like it's divinity is the divine. It's about God. Everything I do is about God. Everything I do.
That's where the plant came from. So
that's what I told. I told the judge, I said, God put that on this earth to help us. And it's kind of like them Democrats, they don't give a shit. If it ain't about getting money off of you, they're not for you.
Well, we're not going to change them people overnight, brother. We're not going to change them overnight. So we have what we say about helping veterans. it's up to us. If it's not us, then who? And if it's not now, then when?
That's what I was saying. When is it going to be? When the hell are we going to get together? When are we going to do this? I want to do it now. I want it done right now. I'm like Donald Trump. What the hell are you waiting on? Get it done. Get something going on here. Let's get something. Get some people on here. I mean, how do we motivate people to kind of like do something?
The problem is I don't think any president can just sign an executive order and wipe cannabis off the Schedule 1. He needs Congress, so we need Congress.
Well,
we don't really need the president. We need a Congress to do this.
Well, then who
and pass it through the Senate, of course. You know, blah blah blah.
You and I are in Michigan. We have congressmen here. Well, see, there you go. In Michigan, like us, we need to pull all the Michigan, Indiana soldiers together. And like I said, take up the eastbound lanes of I-94 out there in New Buffalo at the state line and march all the way towards Lansing until we kind of get the point across. I don't know. Maybe we might walk to Sawyer or something, 12 miles up the road. You know, just to show strength. And then Donald Trump and the rest of them are going to look at that. They're going to go, oh, who's the organizer of that? Let's talk to them. We want to talk to the guys who actually put that shit together.
My smallest hope is that there could be a national program for all veterans. You're allowed to grow 3-4 plants in your home. You can't travel around with 10 pounds in your car, go to jail. I'm saying grow your own medicine, the strains that work for you. Freedom of choice. I choose this plant over these pharmaceuticals because this plant helps you with this, and this. And I think all people, but at a minimum, help our veterans be able to grow 3 or 4 plants that are the strains that work for them, whether they turn it into CBD, butter, for pain, whatever it is that works for them on a national level. Give us our weed and leave us alone.
I mean, there's all kinds of shit, but it's just leave the weed alone. Just leave it all alone. But yeah, all of it. Nothing. The reason why it's getting really dark here is because we're about to have a big old thunderstorm right now. I don't have any lights on in the house, and all of a sudden it's starting to get dark out there. So that's why.
Here's what I propose to you. I propose to you that use Sicko Doc as a catalyst to start something from your heart with this, and then come back on in 3-4 months and let us promote whatever it is you're doing and whatever we can do to help you. For me personally, I'm game to help and we'll do something. But you know, we need people, we need money. So,
my local and see how we can do something about that. We got to do something. And
if we wait long enough, every veteran will die from natural causes or suicide shortly.
Right.
You know, we got to hurry up. And that's the way I felt. I asked Joe and Brian one time, I said, you think we're too late with this? Hell no, we're not. Hell no, we're not.
Oh, you save one. I mean, just save one. I mean, it was worth the whole damn thing. So it's kind of like going, but we could save a whole bunch more. We can save guys that, you know, even haven't even done anything yet. Man, the wind is really holy shit. It's really kicking down outside like
so
a tornado.
We've had guests come back on and talk about how being on has inspired them to do bigger and better things, refocus them on what their goals were before the show. So I commend, brother. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for your service. Thank you for the courage. To you, it seems like second nature to have the courage. That's because of your fucking Vietnam era shit, you know. You're cut from a different cloth, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get tired of the shit that happens to the vets, you know, with big brother dying and the other brother. It's kind of like going, no, I need to do something. And I can. And that's the cool thing is going, well, I think I can do that. I can do that. I just didn't know what God had intended for me. now I kind of got a picture. I'm like, oh, I can do that. And like,
if
if I got time, but we got to pick a time. It's got to like going, this, you can't, like, it can't be like 5 years from now. You know, it's like, no, it's got to be like
yeah.
soon. I mean, all right, let's say in the fall months. What months are that? That's September, October, November, December. What's in there? What, any kind of service related anything in that point? Is there veterans? What, I don't know when all the Veterans Days and all.
Well,
that.
November is Veterans Day. It's Marine Corps birthday in November.
What day in November?
10th.
Then maybe we should do, say, November 10th or the weekend before November 10th.
It's very possible.
The Army veterans are all going to come together.
Let me. I asked this about all of our guests.
And just come here and walk with us. Bring your flags. Don't bring no communist flags. We want to see all American flags.
Right.
This is America. We're here for Americans. This is America. and we need to show our strength, saying us veterans are out here. Don't forget about us. We need things right now. And believe me, if we can do this, maybe I can communicate with Donald Trump. Maybe he will listen to a vet, listen to a combat vet, listen to all these other vets out here. You guys, all of you guys, we all need to go together and maybe we could get him on a podcast. Like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan got him on a podcast. Why wouldn't he come on a podcast with veterans?
I would be.
I bet he would. How do we get him to come on a podcast with us and say?
Well, he's not a drinker. He's not a proponent to cannabis or any drugs.
Right.
You know, you're bringing on drugs from the 70s.
I'm a diabetic, right? I do insulin 4 times a day. Also, I have to take high blood pressure medicine. Who's in control of all that? He is. He is actually in control of all the medications and stuff like that. I think Big Pharma right now. He's like, you guys are not charging us this. We're going back to the. He's in charge. Believe me, he's in charge. You get to be able to talk to him. He can motivate people to do things in favor of us. It may be just for the military guys. He may say, let's experiment on that. Let's try microdosing shit and see if we can stop the suicides. Then we can get these vets to come in. If they know they can get some dosing, they might come in, say, I'll come in free will if you'll supply me some medication. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Free for you.
I gotta call a little bullshit on my president. Okay. Never drank, never did drugs. Listen,
right?
He was in New York during disco in the 70s as a young rich dude. I'm telling you, he snorted cocaine. There's no way he did not snort cocaine.
Right, but I'm not going to confess.
I call bullshit.
If we were on the sly or something, he's probably got buddies that they know all about him. We have buddies that know exactly everything about our weird ass life, and theirs too, so you know everything about theirs. So yeah, it's kind of like he might.
I'm not even mad if he did. It gives you life experience at least.
Right.
So let me ask you this. I asked this of all of our guests. Let's pretend that we weren't going to give you a whole hour on a podcast.
Okay.
But we wanted you to come up with a paragraph, a small paragraph. If you could say anything or tell any veteran anything from your heart to help them keep them here, what advice or what thoughts would you want to give your fellow brother and sister?
My name is Bud Vanderbutts. I'm a minister of God. If you could just get a hold of me, I want to save your life. I really, truly want to save your life. If you feel bad, down and out, crazy thoughts, Doc has me. He knows who I am. He knows where. Get a hold of me, please, because I can help you. I swear I can. If I could just talk to you. But if you don't
So
talk,
many veterans, we've seen it, Joe. So many veterans are saved by other veterans by just a quick call. Hey, brother, what's going on? They were sitting there with the gun right there at that moment. They're like, what?
somebody's
Right?
probably doing that right now as you're talking right now. They're
I certainly hope so.
going, I think I'm going to do it. Hold on.
We've seen cats, a stray cat save a veteran's life. I mean, okay, we've seen it all. Joe. Like,
A straight.
so,
Yeah. It's kind of,
so
you never know. That could be, it could be a fact. And if it is, I hope somebody, if they're watching this podcast, saying, yeah, I'm going to communicate with them. I'm going to tell them what I was about to do.
yeah, bring it on.
That saved me from doing that. I've had people,
We're all here.
you know, let's go. Okay. I wish I could tell you about the doc in India. I saved a doctor's life in India, but that's another story. You know, that's one of them beautiful Bible stories that I have of prayer and oh God. But
Well,
yeah,
let's do that once you get your mission and your plan rolling. Come back on in a couple months, whenever
Yeah.
you're ready. You got good
Part
news
two.
to bring and report to the veterans.
part two.
Yep.
So we'll go through it then.
Yeah, and then I can update you about what I'm about to do about the fires and everything. I'm going to do
Absolutely.
I really am. I'm really going to do something. So we're all going to talk. We're going to be in communication and thing. And then, like you said, a couple of months, 3 months down the road. What is this? This is July, almost July 1st. So we go July, August, September. Say in September, we should do something in November. We should have some sort of rally, a big rally for if it's Memorial or Veterans Day. Let's do it on Veterans Day. Veterans Unite. Veterans Day.
We'll have you on in September or something, and then to promote November.
Right. Well, that's what we're going to do. November. I love it. That's a perfect time. Gives ample time to get some donations together, to get shit together, I can get around to all the VFWs and talk to all the officers of the VFWs and get some flyers into all of them and all the AMVETs, American vets, AMVETs, legions, everywhere a veteran would be somewhere. And then we can actually emphasize that we can help you if you need help, any kind of help. We don't care what it is. We just need to know who you are and what we can do for you as all of us veterans together. I mean, with all of us veterans together, we do a multitude of things. There's doctors in here. There's dentists in here. There's lawyers and construction guys and of every walks of life. There's plumbers, there's electricians, there's everything. Every one of us soldiers, we have a trade. You might be a welder, might be a steel cutter, might be all kinds of things. You know, it's like working with wood, might be a carpenter, a craftsman, something. But we all have a trade, and we can help one another by using our professions.
And that's a perfect way to put this to bed. Listen, all of our listeners, all of the people that have been sharing and liking and hitting all the buttons for us for Sick Call with Doc, we love you and thank you so much for all of that. We wouldn't have the numbers we do if it wasn't for y'all, man. And we're so grateful for all of that. Joe, brother, as always, you're the man.
Yeah,
And,
God bless you, man. It's good meeting you. Definitely.
Yeah, but it was beautiful time talking to you, man.
Hey, we will do this again.
Let's do that.
So
yeah, and Brian, thank you for doing the dials, bro.
Yeah, bro.
And last but not least, there's 6.3 million Vietnam veterans still alive today, and we met one amazing fucking veteran today.
Thank you,
brother. Thank you for being on. Thanks for being a part of this.
Okay.
I appreciate you, man.
Thanks for accepting me and letting me in. You know, good. We could do some great stuff. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm expecting you guys to hold up that end because I'm gonna hold my end up. You're gonna watch.
I got you, man.
Amazed.
All right.
Holy shit! So
and to all of our listeners, thank you for always showing up for us.
Hey,
we love you all.
Yep.
God bless. Take care.
All right. See you guys.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.